You're listening to the AstroMommy Daily Horoscope, a forecast that hopes to shine a light in the dark, helping us all see where we've been, where we are, and where we're going. Whether you're a first-time listener or a long-time subscriber, thanks for being here. I truly appreciate you being in the AstroMommy community. Without further ado, here is the Daily Horoscope. First quarter moon and the fall equinox. Time for the trees to shed their leaves. Daily horoscope for Friday, September 22nd, 2023. Good morning, friends. So a few card reading requests are starting to trickle in. If you've been thinking about it, please let me know if you'd like a card picked for you in the upcoming Fun and For You tarot card reading that I will be doing as a thank you to all of the AstroMommy Newsletter subscribers at the beginning of October. All you have to do is reply to this newsletter or the one titled, I've been thinking about you, or send me an email to astromommyastrology@gmail.com by September 30th, 2023. I'm so excited to do this reading for you guys. You all are so awesome, and I really appreciate you being here. Also, check out the new referral program to earn rewards for sharing the newsletter. It really helps the community to grow and thrive. And if you missed it, the new moon word list for this month's lunar poetry ritual has been posted. If you'd like to participate this month and write a poem with us, due in 1 week on the full moon in Aries, go ahead and check that out here. Okay, let's get into the astrology. All times are in Eastern Time, unless mentioned otherwise. On Friday, it is a special day, the first quarter moon in Sagittarius. Plus, depending on your time zone, the fall equinox will either be tonight or early in the morning tomorrow. So for today's forecast, we are going to look at the chart of the first quarter moon and the fall equinox. The first quarter moon has a few interesting elements to it. The first is that when the moon rises today at 2:45 p.m., it will co-rise with the fixed star Acumen, which is one of the two stars located in the nebula that makes up the Stinger in the Scorpio constellation, the second being Aculeus. You can see the rising of the moon in the chart below on the left side. The fixed star Acumen is currently located at 29 degrees Sagittarius 5 minutes, according to the astrology software that I use, Solar Fire. You can also calculate where the fixed stars are with this handy equation that accounts for precession as described on astrologyking.com here. We will be able to see the half moon rise in the eastern sky in the middle of the afternoon, but of course not the stars. I think this is really compelling because according to Bernadette Brady in Brady's book of Fixed Stars, Acumen is associated with some pretty negative things like illness, extreme disfavor, and eyesight problems because it is a nebula. It represents the dark side of the Stinger that challenges and weakens, whereas the other star of the Stinger, Aculeus, challenges and strengthens. Additionally, these two stars are linked to attacks, not necessarily physical, but mental, verbal, or spiritual. When I was reading my emails this morning, an article about a recent suspected assassination attempt on presidential candidate Robert F. Kennedy Jr. occurred a few days ago, and unfortunately fits the symbolism of attacks that these two stars can warn of. I hope and pray that RFK Jr.'s security detail continues to spot any future threats. Once the moon reaches 29 degrees Sagittarius 32 minutes, she will form her first quarter square to the sun at 29 degrees Virgo 32 minutes, both of which are only 28 minutes of arc away from ingressing into the next signs, Capricorn and Libra, respectively. And of course, when the sun ingresses into Libra every year, that marks the fall equinox, when we have equal amounts of daylight hours and nighttime hours. After the fall equinox, the nighttime hours start to increase, and the sun sets earlier and earlier each day. What I find so fascinating about this square is that it represents big changes happening very quickly after this transit. Both Capricorn and Libra are cardinal signs which portend action, initiation, and liftoff. So we could see things change very fast and come in hot. And since at the time of the square the moon will only be 27 minutes of arc past the fixed star Acumen, whatever it is could come in very quickly like the sudden sting of a scorpion. I am not trying to scare you, I just want you to be aware of the possibilities that are being symbolized here. I was stung by a scorpion as a teenager, I'm sure my father remembers. We were walking to his car so he could drive me to school, and as all young teens attempting to be super cool in the 90s did, I was wearing a long black trench coat. When I picked up the side of my trench coat to get in the car, I felt a sharp sting on my finger, and when I looked down to see what had attacked me, it was a small black scorpion. I immediately screamed and threw my coat to the ground, totally freaking out. My dad asked me, "What's wrong?" And I told him that it was a scorpion, and then I looked up at him, completely dead serious, and asked him, "Am I gonna die?" To which he replied, "No, you're not gonna die. I'm sure he was stifling a laugh at my innocent ignorance, which provided a bit of comic relief, but I don't remember him laughing at me. Instead, he drove me to school and told me to go to the nurse, and I did. Throughout the day, the only thing that happened was that my left side felt kind of numb and tingly. It was my left hand that had been stung, but other than that, I was fine. So things can manifest quickly with this first quarter moon, but I feel that it may be a bit of over-dramatization based on fear rather than actual facts, or it could represent a near miss like the assassination suspicion towards RFK Jr. The guy didn't actually have the opportunity to do anything, so no one really knows the truth of the situation. After the first quarter square, the moon will then ingress into Capricorn, as I said, within the hour at 4:20 p.m. The Capricorn moon is businesslike and pragmatic, doing what needs to be done to initiate the next move. We may feel inclined to be more practical ourselves and go about our evenings in a steady, productive way, getting things done with precision, skill, and business acumen. At 7:44 p.m., the moon in Capricorn will form a sextile to Saturn in Pisces, indicating the opportunity for feeling in control of our environments, our emotions, and our bodies. This transit has a grounding effect to me, almost like we are more in control of ourselves and it feels good rather than stifling. It's like a positive form of control. We may feel sharp, on the ball, and efficient. If you are on the West Coast, the Sun will ingress into Libra at 11:49 p.m., and if you are on the East Coast, the fall equinox will occur at 2:49 a.m., technically on Saturday. Below is the fall equinox chart cast for 2:49 a.m. Eastern Time in Washington, D.C. You can see the Sun at the bottom of the chart at 0 degrees Libra, 0 minutes. The Sun is now co-present with the asteroid Pallas Athena, Mars, and the South Node. Pallas Athena, according to the internal solar fire interpretations, represents sudden wake-up calls. Mars is the planet that represents war, drive, and action, and the South Node in traditional astrology is said to act a bit like a psychic drain or decreasing influence. In modern astrology, one of the meanings for the South Node is that it symbolizes information that we draw on from the past or past lives that supports our growth. Venus in Leo approaches a conjunction with Juno, an asteroid associated with marriage, and also her upcoming third square to Uranus and Taurus, which you can see co-present with Jupiter at the top of the chart. So this fall season could bring in some exciting, surprising, and unexpected public events that shake our values, our money, or our relationships, since Venus represents all of those things. It is thought-provoking, as always, to guess what will happen. Since the fall equinox is occurring just hours after the first quarter moon, I feel that this next few weeks will be full of events that move our lives along very quickly. Even though we still have 5 planets retrograde, the personal planets, Mercury, Venus, and Mars, are all direct, which just tells me that the changes will be felt in a personal way, rather than only in the world around us. Let's move on to the card for the day. What is the guidance for today? 4 of Pentacles, reversed. On this card, we see a woman with 4 pentacles around her. She has 1 at the crown of her head, 1 in the embrace of her hands, and 1 under each foot. She almost looks like she's snuggling up with her pentacles in the fetal position, attempting to feel safe and secure. In the upright position, this card is about guarding your wealth, possessions, and things that make you feel safe and secure, and it usually comes from a place of scarcity and fear. In the reverse position, this card symbolizes a time of reflection on your relationship with money and possessions. Maybe you've been hyper-focused on acquiring wealth to the detriment of your relationships. It could indicate a time of feeling greedy and hoarding your wealth in hopes that by having more money and things, you will also be happier. But this is often accompanied by the realization that money can't buy happiness. Are we holding on too tightly in order to feel safe and secure, but ultimately it cuts off from the wealth of real connections? This card in the reverse position may also symbolize a time of spending too freely and having some buyer's remorse. Are we spending too freely in an attempt to create joy, but it ultimately creates stress? And lastly, this card may indicate that you feel like your life, circumstances, or environment are out of control and chaotic, and you feel the need to control what you can. Putting your home or office in order may actually help with these feelings. Taking the transits into account with this card, I feel that if things rapidly shift this weekend, we could feel like we are holding on very tightly to what we know, almost like trying to keep the leaves from falling if you didn't know it was time for them to fall. It may represent a period of adjustment as we acclimate to the new weather systems coming in and the inevitable changes to our natural world. Let me know if this reading resonates with you in the comments. I hope this is helpful. Until tomorrow, AstroMommy. Thank you for reading or listening to the Daily Horoscope. Quick links and resources can be found at the bottom of the newsletter. Today's card was pulled from the Ethereal Visions Illuminated Tarot, available on Amazon. If you seek knowledge and enlightenment, the AstroMommy Newsletter may be right for you. Side effects of reading or listening to the AstroMommy Newsletter are common and include joy, jubilation, delight, happiness, gratitude, love, triumph, feeling in tune with the universe, experiencing deep insights, reflections, and contemplations, a lightened soul, a lighter step, feeling awake when others are asleep, illuminated, enlightened, having spiritual experiences, noticing repeating numbers, animals in nature, or songs on the radio that speak to you, getting vibes, clairvoyance, clairaudience, and clairsmelliance, feeling like you know secret language, biophilia, crying tears of joy, emotional literacy, feeling lively, stable, exalted, having an auric glow, or feeling like you woke up on the right side of the bed have all been reported. If you purchase anything through the affiliate links that I provide in the newsletters, I will make a very small commission. Thanks for listening.